Okay, now most people will have been taught that with many techniques we compress and expand the chest, and this aids with the power that we generate. Okay, so generally whenever you compress anything or stretch anything, it wants to return to its normal shape. It's like when you stretch an elastic band and let it go. The elastic band wants to go back to its normal shape. Now, muscles work in a similar way. If I stretch an elastic band twice as far and release it, it moves faster to get back to its normal shape. And the muscles in your body work the same way. The more you stretch, the more you compress, the more they want to return to their normal shape, and we can use that to help us generate power, and we can use that compression and stretching without having to resort to strength. Okay, this is why someone who's small or maybe a lady or hasn't got too much physical strength, they can still generate a lot of power. We've talked about principles of moving your body weight forward. Okay, sometimes you may be in a confined area, not much space to move, and you might have to generate the power in a small technique, and our katas reflect that. Okay, when we start off, all our katas are very big movements. First kata, okay, it's all big steps, big open steps, and we've got a whole step to generate the power for the next technique. As we get more advanced, katas like Heian Godan or Pinan Godan, as some people call it, we then have to, maybe we've got two techniques on the first movement. So we start off and it's, okay, so I've got to generate as much power with less movement. The second technique is taken from here without having to have a step. So we kind of compensate for some of the lack of hip movement and lack of body weight movement by compressing, expanding, okay, and then coming back to that relaxed position again afterwards. Even in our basic techniques on their own, if you take, so we say a Sotoyuki, we've got expansion there, comes back into the more relaxed position. A Gidan-Brai. Gidan-Brai gives us, or lower block for those who don't do Japanese styles, again, we've got that compression, expansion. Okay, so we make use of that principle. And most people should know that already. That's normally part of your basic training. The little refinement that I want to add to it, I was talking earlier on about stretching your arm out so it's taut rather than tense. Okay, if we use that movement with our techniques, particularly these compression expansion techniques, it helps quite a bit. So if we take a Gidan-Brai, for example, or lower block, for example, as I go into my stack-up position, okay, I've got the compression of the chest. If I really push this hand, the reaction hand, if I really push that forward and stretch it forward, okay, it actually gives me more compression in the chest, okay? So I've got the compression in the chest, and the fact that this one is taut, it wants to whip back to the hip faster. Okay, so the faster that one comes back, it helps us turn the whole body, engage with what's happening up here, and everything moves faster. So if I don't make that hand taut, I can still get a certain amount of power and a certain amount of speed. If I do really stretch it and make it taut, I get that little bit more out of it. It's not a huge amount, but we're always looking to refine it and refine it and refine it and squeeze out that a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more all the time as we go through. Okay? If we take a stepping punch, for example, as I step forward, that hand goes out. Now, I said before about when you punch, the shoulder is in just that relaxed position. Okay? But when I'm stepping, then I will turn it in. I will stretch it. I will make all my joints taut, stretch them out, okay? That just helps to give me a feeling of going that way. It helps my body to go in that direction. But also, it creates a little bit of, compression across the chest, which when I release this hand and retract this one, it all helps fluid together. this one, by being taught, it comes back faster, okay? It comes back faster. And again, it just helps you get that little bit of compression through the chest. If you take maybe a Sotsuyuki for the outside block, for example, as I come forward, again, this arm is stretched out. So that one wants to pull back, okay? By doing so, I also get a bit more of a stretch across the chest there, because this one's stretching forward, this one's pulling back, so I've got to stretch across the chest there, so when I release this one, it adds to the power. And it is by using that stretching and that compression rather than by using strength. It's not by coming around and, not using muscular contraction. Okay, so try and move away from the idea of strength and muscular contraction. It's muscular stretching and muscular compression rather than contraction. Okay, so I've got this one back there, I've got that one out there. Everything is stretched out between the two hands, and it comes around very, very fast when I release the technique. Okay, so a lot of techniques use that compression, expansion, okay? Even in a Uizuki stepping punch where we're not obviously crossing the arms over, we still got an element of stretching by stretching that hand out. I get a little bit of, stretching across the chest, which helps me release the other hand that little bit faster. So again, all your basics, always think about stretching out, okay?